I'm going to try to make this quick because I'm really tired. So it's been a really long, I don't know how many days now. The hawks, it's crazy, and everything has changed. Um, Everything has changed. The squirrels that I see during the day aren't the squirrels I would normally see during the day. Now the squirrels that I used to see in the day wait until it is dark. I mean, the in all the time that I've dealt with squirrels, squirrels don't come out in the dark. They don't have good vision in the dark, and other animals do, so other animals have the advantage. But we're to a point right now, apparently, where the animals feel safer coming out in the dark than they do in the day. And there are animals that come out during the day, squirrels that come around. It's really strange because Condo Girl, who is one of the more mature squirrels, I've known her since the beginning. She will come out. She's coming out all day long, coming and seeing me. She's hanging out with me like all day. Now that I think about it, I wonder if she's trying to get the Amy advantage, like trying to make inroads with me while the other ones aren't coming out. I don't know if that's what's going on. But Hansi, Pippi, Mealy Mouth, Shy Gray Bent Tail, Two Pack, they are not coming out during the day at all. And to the point where there were some days where I didn't see them at all. But now what's happening is they've discovered, I just happened like 3 nights ago now. Today was the 3rd night of it. So the night before last, I was working late, later than I normally would. And I still had the door wall open just because I was so intent on what I was doing. I didn't close the door wall. And then Hansi came up, and I couldn't believe it. I hadn't seen her all day. And then Pippi came, and they were just frantic, eating, and then they did it again last night, and then tonight. And so now I'm purposely staying. I can tell they want me to stay, keep the door wall open. And what I do is I have the lights on, and I open the door wall, and then they come, and I've got some video of it. I'll try working it into this thing. I haven't been doing YouTube videos because it's just been crazy with the hawks. I don't even know how else I could go into detail if I weren't so exhausted. It's just between my job and the hawks, my anxiety, I'm just going to explode, And last night, so many things have happened. Last night at the end of the night, I was out in the woods, and the squirrels started crying, and I saw hawks, 2 of them, go to where Two Pack lives. Two Pack lives a ways away, but I know where he lives, and I saw the hawks go there. I'm like, no. So I ran around the block. I've got to lose weight for no other reason than I can run faster when I don't weigh as much. So anyway, I'm running around the block, and when I got there, I don't know if it was Two Pack or if it was another squirrel, but it was a black squirrel, was plastered against a tree. His hind legs were up, his front legs were down, and he was looking at me when I got there, the hawk was chasing him around the tree, around and around. It was a big, one of those real big round trees. And the hawk was chasing him around, and the squirrel was running around trying to stay at the exact opposite side of the tree than the hawk. And so then they both stopped, and the hawk, I was at the street, the squirrel was plastered, like I said, upside down, and then looking at me like, help, 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 please help. And the hawk was on a branch behind it, but I think could see the squirrel, I'm not sure. I couldn't tell from where I was if the hawk could see him or not. The squirrel was terrified, of course, and I did what I could to get rid of the hawk, and it finally worked, and it was a miracle. I didn't know what I was going to see, and I didn't know if it was too much. I still don't know. And there were 2 of them. That's the other thing. There were 2 hawks. So if I got lucky that the other one didn't get involved, because if it was 2 against that squirrel, there's nothing I could have done. They were up so high. So I got lucky, and that one, I got the hawk finally to fly away. And by the time, and then I was just clapping and screaming at the hawk, and running when he finally went. And then when I looked back at the tree, the squirrel was just gone. So I don't know who it was. I don't know where the squirrel went, but he took that opportunity of, as soon as that hawk started flying, the squirrel just disappeared, I should say. I don't even know where he went. But you can't even feel happy about a win like that, because you don't know, what did you do? Did I buy the squirrel another day, another 2 days? I mean, it's just crazy right now. There's been so many hawks I'm running off tonight. Well, today I had, there were so many. One of them, and I've learned some things that can go wrong, unfortunately. One of the ones today, there was a hawk, and he was looking at some squirrels, and so I intervened, and I was trying to help them get out of there and everything. But part of the problem was there were chipmunks there, and the chipmunks kept running around and rustling around, making noise, and that hawk was not leaving. He just, if the chipmunks would just stop it, but I think they don't have the same awareness that the squirrels do. The squirrels understand what's going on, and I think the chipmunks don't. Squirrels don't know if they're gonna die or whatever. Yes, they do. They cry, and they're terrified, and they run for their lives, and they go around a tree. They know. They have absolute awareness. I don't know how much the chipmunks know, but they sure were not helping matters today, and they were hurting not only their own chances of survival, but the squirrels, because they were running around, making all kinds of noise in the leaves, and so the hawk knew there were multiple things down there. Oh, it was just killing me, the chipmunks wouldn't stop, so it made my job harder. I couldn't get rid of the hawk because he knew there were multiple live animals down there, and they were screwing up the squirrels trying to hide, because the chipmunks were kind of chasing them or whatever they were doing, and it was bad. That was a bad one, and it took forever, and it's I don't have this kind of time, and so my whole day, so I end up just being exhausted, because it pushes other things I have to do into the night. Another time today, I was inside working. I was right inside the door wall working, and Condo Girl was on the, I can't even think, the castle, or whatever you want to call it, the squirrel hide right outside the door. And all of a sudden, I mean, there was I just can't explain, when you live here, certain sounds happen, and you just know. I mean, it's in your blood. There's somebody out there trying to kill someone, So I was out the door immediately, and there was a hawk that was coming down the side of the house, right on this side of the house, chasing a bird, trying to kill the bird. As the bird was flying, the hawk was trying to catch up with him in the air to eat him. And I was the second I was out that door wall, I was screaming and clapping and went running at that freaking hawk, and I saved the bird. So my reflexes that I've learned, or whatever you want to call it, unfortunately had to acquire in order to save squirrels, actually worked to save a bird today. A good bird, one of the nice ones, was probably out front eating the peanuts, which is why I put peanuts out, is for the birds. Some riffraff squirrels eat it too, but it's really for the birds why I put the peanuts out. But the hawks are just, I don't know what's happened. I don't know if they've moved into a nest in one of these neighboring areas, but suddenly there are so many more of them, or more incidents with them, I should say. I don't know if there's actually more in terms of quantity, but I'm dealing with it a lot more, all day it feels like. And so I think that's why these squirrels are hiding. Tonight, I was on the deck at night, and I thought, finally it's all over after a whole day of just dealing with hawks and trying to do my job, and then so I thought, finally it's over, because the sun was setting. I'm finally I can relax. I had food cooking, and then I heard the cries come from the front yard, and I'm not again. And I go out front. So I went out front, and they were all crying, so I knew there was one somewhere. I ended up finding him. He was across the street, and I have some video of that. I had a bunch of squirrels behind me, and I was like, and I just told him, I'm like, he's got to come through me to get to you, because he was in front of me, and he was up here, they were behind me, and I was just like, you're not going to get to them, all of them. I'm here. Come to me. He doesn't look as big as he is, but he's huge, and I've got a bunch of squirrels crying behind me. And he's going to have to come through me to get to them. He's not going to get to them. There was another squirrel up off in front of me and up in a tree, and he had that guy in his sights, and I just wouldn't leave. I was like, I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. And I stayed there, I don't know how long, half hour, 45 minutes, completely burned my dinner, did not care. And then at one point, that squirrel finally had the courage to come down the tree, and he was starting to come towards me. He was like looking at me. We had total eye contact. And the squirrel was looking at me, and I was just like, come on. And I was like, I got you, because I could see the hawk. And I was like, and he was starting to walk towards me. He was coming down the neighbor's yard and about to get to the street and come across to me. I was on the street. And stupid hawk turned around and made this terrifying sound, which scared the hell out of the squirrel and sent it back to the tree and up the tree. I'm like, God. And but finally that hawk went flying. And we got through that one, and he went flying up and off. And then, so every squirrel back here all saw it, because the sun was setting, so it was just enormous, the wingspan and this thing going over the sky. And so squirrels were coming to me on the deck, just like relieved, thinking, okay, now it's finally over. We keep going through that, we keep thinking it's over. I have video of, I don't know if it was yesterday, I'm losing track of the days. Too Much was actually on me. And there were squirrels on the deck. There was Condo Girl, Rover, Too Much was on my leg, and I was giving him a nut, when all of a sudden, just like I said, you get to a point where I'm not like the squirrels with my reflexes but it's getting very close. It's like something I don't even know how to say. How do I know? But I know. And all of a sudden it was just like, well, I guess by the squirrel's reaction, everybody just scared. Too Much was on my leg, and he pushed off my leg and actually kind of like pushed his claw a little into my leg. Not into it, but like I could feel it. Never would a squirrel. These squirrels are so careful with me, but he was that scared that his claw like really pushed off my leg. One claw on one foot, but still, And then I just knew, that he had to be terrified. And I turned and I looked, and the hawk is on the deck. I was on the deck. The squirrels were on the deck. The hawk was on the deck. I'm just like, I just went ballistic on him. Just ballistic, but he went flying. And, man, I probably could have I don't even know. If he hadn't have the audacity to come on my deck with my squirrels and me. This is my house, my deck, my squirrels, and this guy comes and lands when we're all having a good time together. They are just, they're completely irreverent beasts. They are from like leftovers from the Paleolithic era. They were supposed to have died out. Somebody in 1972 changed a law created a law to try to save them. God knows why. And then from what I read is they made a critical error. They thought that they needed a law to save them, but because I guess deforestation, like they were worried about like suburbs being built up and trees being knocked down everywhere and deforestation happening, and they thought that since the habitat was going to go away for the hawk, that the hawk would die out if it wasn't protected. But they said in actuality, hawks have thrived in urban areas. They are thriving in urban areas, they don't need as much forest as everybody had thought back in 1972. And so now it's like a double whammy, because hunters that used to take care of hawks are now not allowed to, and they're thriving in urban areas. So there's a glut, of these things. There's way too, anybody who cares about animals knows there's way too many hawks in the world right now. Hawaii just reversed their law. I think it was in 2020 or 2022. I can't remember. I was just reading about it. They actually reversed the protection of the hawk in Hawaii, and I'm hoping that other states follow suit, because there are areas for hunting in every state. And if hunters in those areas would, that would at least make less hawks, overall, as they procreate and they just fill up the space, and there's just too many of them. And I mean, when they are coming and taking animals that are on a person's deck with a person, there's just too many hawks. And anyway, it's been horrible, and it's changed the squirrel's behavior. Too much is coming here throughout the day. I don't know why, because he's got a ways that he's got to come. Part of the thing with him, he might be taking advantage of the fact that Pippi and Hansi, these squirrels that would normally block his way here, they're staying in their cabins and not coming out all day. So now he has an open path to get here. That might be actually why he's doing that. Condo girl, I don't get it. She's coming to me all day long. She's only got 3 good legs right now. She really shouldn't be out. She does live close, so there's that. But yeah, I worry about her. And but these older, wiser squirrels and females. So I also don't know if they're pregnant. Two-Pack, Shy Gray, Hansi, Pippi, Mealy Mouth. They're all older. They're all female. They're not coming here at all during the day. But they're coming here, like I said, after dark, and just, the other thing is, and then they're just desperately eating, drinking water out of the water bowl, just drinking as fast as they can, eating as fast as they can. And the other odd behavior that has started is Hansi, 2 nights in a row now, has decided, at first, I don't know if she's afraid to go to the bathroom outside now or what, but she's coming in and going to the bathroom right on the doormat, right inside. And I don't know if that's because she's afraid of being outside any longer than she has to. Because she ate a nut in here the first night. I think she ran in here, maybe last night. I have some video of it. I can't even begin to explain how bad the day is with hawks. And Hansi just ran in right by me, even though I was holding a nut. She wanted to sit over there and eat, which is totally fine with me, and I totally get it. She wants to be as inside and protected as she can. It is awful out there. It's awful. The hawk situation is so bad. So she waited until 7 o'clock again, and I waited for her here because she came last night at 6:45, and it is 6:53, and she just ran in, and we have had just the worst hawk day that I can remember in I don't know how long. And that's so unlike her. She came all the way in and sat against the wall on the hearth or whatever, and just ate over there. Didn't want to be anywhere near the door wall, didn't want to be outside. They are terrified. And anyway, so yeah, Hansi went to the bathroom inside a couple times. I don't care because it's on the mat, so I just clean it. But that is so unlike her. It's unlike all of them. They don't go to the bathroom in here. So I don't know if it's because of fear or if it's because she can't come here all day and she realizes that other squirrels are, and maybe she's marking and letting them know, like, hey, you might not see me, but I'm still around. This is still my Amy. I don't know if it's that. But everything has changed. And it's just, and just so people know, because I'm used to it, but other people probably aren't. When squirrels go to the bathroom, it is so minute you can't even find it later. Like it it's like she's just going like number one, and it's so, anybody who's had like any other animal, you can't even compare it. It's like if you spill a tiny little bit of water on the carpet, but like I have to mark it so that I can find it when I go to clean it. I have to put something near it or I will lose it because it's just this little spot of water. But yeah, it's been crazy. It's been horrible. I am exhausted, and I'm because between my job and the hawks, and then now my schedule is like extended into the night hours, trying, now when the squirrels are finally comfortable to come out, and then I hang around with them, and then I like use my flashlight to try to light the ground so they can get back to, they can see that they're not going to run into a predator on the way back to their tree. So everything gets more complicated, but boy, I never thought I'd see squirrels coming to me in the dark, in the night, and to feel more safe in the night. They don't see well in the dark. And I know this because I used to play catch with baby in the dark, and I had better night vision than he did. So however well you see in the dark, squirrels don't see that well. Assuming that he's like any other, but he was very young, so he was at his peak, his prime. He was like less than 1 year old, and so I think he was a good, I'm so tired. I think he was a good example of how well squirrels see in the dark. Okay, so I'm going to try to get this video put together. Yeah, it's really, all I can say is it's hard. It's hard, but I'm still coming along. So I'm going to try to make an uplifting ending. Anyone who loves squirrels, thank you for loving your squirrels. And anyone who loves my squirrels, thank you for that too. And a lot. And I'm going to do everything I can for everybody.